Alright, hello and welcome everyone to this mayhem start of a recording session. Why mayhem start? Well, I just pressed my recording button. It didn't start the recording. I pressed it again and it stopped the recording. I just told Aaron and I didn't tell him I'm gonna start it again, so we start off with a laugh from Aaron. Let's go.
Well,
And
okay, you need to like fix your setup.
no, I'm not gonna fix my setup. We're just gonna start with your laugh. I don't care.
Okay, that sounds good to
People
me.
are allowed to hear that you're actually a human being enjoying life sometimes.
Sometimes, not always. A night
Yes.
shift does that to you. Anyway, what we got?
Alright, we got the recap of week 1 from Thunderings in Premier League Season 2. And the week 1 saw the Z Warrior Zebra Strikes versus the Flop Era for Relegators. And it's 10 matches. But you see, it's a 7-2 scoreline because me and Omikorio trolled and we didn't play. Kek W. Uh, But outside of that, we saw My Java beat FC in regular OU, Gen 8. And Ubers, we saw Captain Funk taking down Manaphy, which, if I remember correctly, they called Manaphy the biggest steal of the tour, lost his first game, big steal. Gonna throw shade. Don't take me serious, please. It's important, we need the BS and shit talk. Then we saw in Anything Goes, Amber losing to Resamesi 24. Then we saw NetDex OU, Skimmy taking on Saki. And in the 1v1, we saw Akeras taking down, I do not know how to pronounce that name, Leselu? I don't know. Something like that.
You're not sharing your screen, dude. I can't help you out.
Yeah, you can open the doc yourself, you lazy.
Hey, whoa. Don't call me out like
In the Slam Best of 3, we saw La Panda Chill lose to Infernapolion. In the Stores Best of 3, we saw ABHK taking down Neomon. In NetDex Mono, the chosen tier from our side, Memedos taking down CC Geek. And then in the Ubers tier, we saw Ainskred taking down Academy, which is interesting because it was their chosen tier. So we won their chosen tier, which is always a huge plus, right? Like it's you take an expected win and just steal it. It's really good.
that. Oh
And yeah,
yeah, that always feels awesome.
yes, and we took NetDeck's monotype because we looked at their player list and we were like, well, they do not have a single mono player in a tour filled with mono players. How did they do that?
I have no idea how people are getting away with that.
Meanwhile, other teams have like 5 mono players.
I know. I think my team has like 3 or 4. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, I see you played. I see Atrax Madara play. That's already 2. So yeah. And for the games of the week, the Flop Era for Relegators picked their AGA win, and we picked, or like I picked because I randomized it, the victory in NetDex OU from Skimmy. I randomized it because gonna call out my own manager, didn't even send me the game of the week when I asked him to. Feels bad.
I mean, that just lets us pick whatever we want. So
Yes. I'm gonna share you the screen for the replays now though.
okay,
There you
let
go.
me,
There
I
you
appreciate
go.
it. Yeah, I
And
see it.
we see a literal mirror match. It's just
Okay.
welcome to AG Finest, where every team has like Nerve Crossma Duskmane and Eternatus and Calyrex Shadow.
I mean, if you're playing AG, I feel like you kind of have to have at least some of this shit, right? Because, God, I don't like thinking of Tears with Zacian in it. I really, truly do not.
I think Sacred is not as bad as Mega Rayquaza was.
Uh, I, I don't play enough Ubers to really
But both
comment on that.
are. Dude, I played NetDex, not NetDex, like Monotype Ubers, and I will never forget the fact that Marshadow was banned because it was just the most stupid fucking one in the tier.
Feels bad, man.
Alright, and
Oh, your screen went dark. I cannot see.
yes. Don't worry about it. I had to answer on the Discord. And
Oh,
now
okay.
let's look at the game, and we see the lead matchup heavily in Xernea's favor. Ivaltal basically auto losing this start. And we see the Geomancy Xerneas knockoff obviously not doing anything, and this is already a terrible position because Xerneas is just a monster, right? When it gets to set up, it just claps a lot. The Sludge Bomb taking down the sub even with 2x per def, really important because if the sub is up, like, that's just game outright. Oh, I forgot Dynamax is even allowed in this tier.
I know, it's awesome.
The Max Lightning dealing a lot. Max Quake, so probably not a steal attack, otherwise he would Max Steal.
Maybe you just
Stalling
want
out
the
more
spread
turns.
boost.
Oh no, he has Max Steal. Probably didn't Max Steal. Wouldn't Max Steal have killed even? Oh, the Thunder hitting, but it does
Oh,
not
man.
kill. And the Thunder missing. And Sunsteel Strike dealing enough to kill. Now that's really helpful and that's really huge. And now we see a Cataract's Shadow. And it set up a substitute for to read the Ivaltal.
Yeah.
And it's Baton Pass
Pass.
into the second Xerneas. Welcome to AG, by the way. And here we see the first Xerneas and the second Xerneas pressing Geomancy. And now it's just both Xerneas set up, winning the speed tie behind the sub, getting the special attack drop. Not that it matters because substitute was up. Outspeeding again, and this is just GG. Like, Moonblast killing the Crossma.
wow.
Like, resist my ass, by the way.
Oh, that was very clearly BizDef Necrozma, I would imagine.
Yes, but it's still ridiculous to me to
Yeah.
just like resisted one of the most defensive Pokemon. Just boom, gone. Goodbye forever. And this was a very, very convincing win in AG. And what the hell, 2 Xerneas? I hate this tier already. It's terrible. Who thought of it? I think the biggest thing is actually just turn 1, what do you lead? And afterwards it was just nearly unavoidable to have it turn out this way.
Yeah,
I will
I'm
have
not
to
gonna
go
pretend.
to the dark screen again.
Okay. I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about the tier. It was just, from an onlooker's perspective, seeing 2 Xerneas is just stupid.
Yes. I mean, I think if you have this type of matchup, probably Ivaltal lead is too risky. I mean, it absolutely clobbers like Necrozma and Calyrex, right? But the opponent leads one of his 2 Xerneas, you just lose the game, which doesn't feel good at all. Yeah, but it's a very convincing win and anything goes. And we will hop over immediately to Skimmy's game, which will be the next OU game. I know we see much more reasonable teams, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
No 2 Xerneas right here. Yeah, I hate Xerneas with a passion because I played Gen 5 Ubers and I played Gen 6 Ubers. And when Gen 6 Ubers brought in Xerneas, I was like, well, this is terrible. I hate this.
See, I played a little bit of VGC with Xerneas allowed, and that shit's fucking obnoxious.
Yes. Especially if you just hit, like, follow me with, like, a Jirachi.
That is just like spams Dazzling Gleam after it's boosted. Like,
yes. Yeah, it's not fun. Alright, so we see the second drop. It's a NetDex OU. And because we have the person that keeps up with the dog this time is much more reasonable than on the first time, we actually see who won and whatnot, right? Like everything is already entered. Good job to the host for this one. Like season 1, we were like 2 weeks behind sometimes.
Feels
uh, so we know that Skimmy won this game, but we can look how Skimmy was able to beat Saki in Dex OU. And we see Tapu Lele lead versus a low punny, obviously mega low punny, just really, really strong mega.
Mm-hmm.
Psychic dealing
The spit F
a
drop
lot of
really sucks
damage.
here.
Yes. Though the switch, like, not sure if it was reading the heat transition or if it was just like, oh, I don't want to get, like, I don't know, trapped with Whirlpool or whatever. I don't know. Both hitting Stealthworks, both hitting Toxics. Very typical Lando v Lando stuff. Rocky Helmet chip is not a. I think Rocky Helmet Lando is not that common anymore. It was more in the past. The gang shot miss on the Hooper is really
Man.
unfortunate though.
That is really big.
And Hooper is like Seahawk typing pick. Yeah, this is right. This is like if you have a Hooper unbound on your enemy team, it's like hit pick a sack.
Yeah,
Moonblast.
people take it pretty well with Tapu Fini.
You can type to rise up to the top that he's allowed to join, and we are just going through replays right now. Type it in the TWPL, because if I tap out, it's black for you again. Greninja coming in against the Heatran, obviously offensively pressuring very strongly. Lando coming in, so it was a double switch. Greninja hitting Hydro Pump, obviously, against Lando, and now Heatran came in, took a big chunk, eats the second Hydro, and is just gone.
That's really going to enable Volcarona quite a bit.
Yes, I think Volcarona is a big threat in this situation now. This then also Rocky Helmet, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Rocky Helmet is like really good. I don't know.
I don't know. I personally am not a fan of Rocky Helmet Lando. I like lefties.
Yeah, I prefer lefties too. People just hitting Earthquake, U-turn killing himself. It's like assisted suicide right here, not allowed in Germany. Tapu Lele coming in against the Lando to threaten it out, because obviously Tapu Lele being a really, really strong Pokemon in this matchup, because it can just freely hit Moonblast or Psychic, and if the opponent reads wrong, well, that's a Mon gun now at this position. Tapu Fini coming in against the enemy Tapu Fini, but getting critted, which causes it to die on the second Moonblast. But now Volcarona comes in and can quiver dance up against the Fini that is not able to taunt it, to outspeed. Bug Buzz, like, this is resisted, by the way.
It still does a ton.
Yeah, that still is. And now it's Psychic, revealing the Psychic tech for the Toxapex usually. Flamethrower killing Zapdos, and now this looks all but lost. Low Penny coming in to fake out. That is a fuck ton. 35%. We see why people were sometimes on quick attack, by the way, because now it would have been able to kill with quick attack. Flamethrower killing the Lando. Low Penny coming in to finish it off with fake out, but getting hit by the flame body. Very unfortunate.
At this point, the game is already pretty much.
Yes, so Low Penny just has to hit Moonblast anyways, but it's still really unfortunate.
And Lele does Lele things.
Yeah, Lele just hitting Moonblast to finishing off the game. But a really well played game from Skimmy, being able to recognize what the win con and in a winning position is, and how to enable his team to get to that position, and just a really, really well played game. Not much to add. Now we go to the nutting and vibing Curlias versus Slayer Salamancers. And we see now actually 10 games played. Shame me and Omikorio for this. 10 games played, it went 4-6, so really, really close actually. And we saw in OU Mimikyu Stardust taking down Yoru Nox. We saw in Monotype Desem, also known as Mushamu, probably the best mono player in this tour, winning in 2 games versus Attacks Madara. Then we saw in Ubers Based Burner defeating W-Sun 1. Then in Anything Goes we saw Final Gohan defeating Darkrai Retribution. In NetDex OU we saw Red Poop Kek W defeating CY. We saw in 1v1, we saw EU defeat Swag God. We saw in Slam Best of 3, Felines taking down Panura Cotta. Then we saw in the Stour Best of 3, Muse defeating Typical Bastard. DPPOU, I think it was the Nutting and Vibing Curious chosen tier.
Yes, it was.
Yes. We see Lucas losing to your boy, Aaron, who is in Voice
Yes,
of Me.
I'm a very well-known DPP OU main. Was aware of that. I didn't put it down as my chosen tiers because I didn't want anyone else to feel bad.
Yeah. With your like 8 games DPPOU or
Oh yeah.
And then we saw
learning the entire metagame right there.
And then we saw in Ubers, we saw the Slayer Celebrants chosen tier losing to Crunchman. So far we've only seen one team winning their chosen tier.
That's so fucking weird to me, man.
Yeah, something is going horribly wrong here. And because we are both monotype players, we decided to look at how Desem just won in 2 games, which we should not be surprised because it's Desem, but it's still interesting, especially when I see this first matchup.
This can honestly still go either way. Not having Slowking here really fucking bites because you can see that Lele just staring down this poison team over here. Drapion does go a long way, but it's not going to like taking those repeated stab moon blasts, especially if that's like a Specs Lele.
Yeah, Loves and Lele in this matchup. But I think on the other hand, you have a potential sweeping Nihilego. You have the Gengar, which is if either or both have like Sludge Wave, it's like really tough to switch into.
It really depends on what these sets are,
yes,
right? Because realistically, either Gengar or Nihilego can run Scarf. I would be a bit more inclined to believe that Nihilego is the Meteor Beam Sweeper and Gengar is probably the Scarf or the Specs user.
yes.
Although I personally do like Sludge Wave Shadow Ball with Sub Nasty Fly.
Just to get back to our meme dream team, which we didn't record because I felt sick and had exams. Hey, we should do that one time too.
Oh shit!
If Atex Madera lost, he probably should have run Choice Band Toxapex.
We need to review that game at some point.
Yeah, we just some people have to. Even though Choice Band Toxapex wasn't the winning thing in the end, it was fun that you brought it.
It was still like it claimed him on. It did its job.
It did its job, but it was definitely not the reason why you won, but it's so funny to me. Alright, let's watch this replay. And the lead matchup, Drapion, typical lead to counter lead the potential Lele. Spike's coming up, which is huge against Poison, right? Like Poison struggles against Hazards. And now the knockoff to remove a Lagging Tail. So this is a trick Klefki that is just there to annoy.
Okay.
Break, interesting tech. The Poison Jab read that it gets switched out. Interesting. Gengar coming in against Clefable.
That's kind of a risky switch in there on Gengar's part.
Definitely. Obviously hitting Shadow Ball just in case. This looks more like Specs damage to me.
Yeah.
And now Coco comes in, eating another Shadow Ball. This is so much damage.
Yeah, that is hella Specs.
Yes. Amoonguss coming in against Coco. We see the Roost. No Heavy Duty Boots Roost, which is what I like more. But we see this is the support Coco, which is a really rare thing to see. But obviously it's December. What do we expect? Now we see Klefki coming in. Is this Calm Mind Klefki?
No. No. Where would he even fit that move slot? Between like Spike's Trick and Calm Mind Draining Kiss, maybe?
Start power. You know the man is wired.
True.
Clefable taking no damage from this Poison Jab, honestly. And just chipping down the Drapion. He doesn't have to kill it outright, right? But he just has to chip it down slowly. That's why Spikes is so big in this matchup too.
Yeah, that's also like one of the biggest reasons why Drapion still runs Protect, just so that you can still get that passive recovery from leftovers.
Yes, Azumarill obviously getting super checked by Toxapex. Rocky had missed losing Rocky Helmet, so the Poison team really struggles with those spikes, which is what I said in the very start. It's light screen Toxapex. What is this? Among Us not getting hit by the spikes, but Psyshock absolutely nuking it. And now we will see Drapion coming in. Koku just to read the Drapion switch in. Discharge, maybe a paralyzer.
Oh man, that sucks.
That really sucks because now it just gets outsped by like everything.
It gets outsped by everything, and then there's the potential, the full para on like a Layla
Yes.
or something, and that's just like game winning
And now
stuff,
we
right?
see Clefable just got a free heal because of this. Apparently, let's
Oh
see, it's a
my
Calm Mind Clefable, which is a huge threat. If it gets, yeah, now we see the defog. I think it was a little too late to defog. Probably should have done it way earlier because the spikes really tore into the team already.
I mean, when was he going to find time? I guess like on the Zoomeril, he could have done that.
For example, yeah, or against one of the 500 turns of Klefki.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Psyshock again, just like Topolator just hitting the Psychic type move. Doesn't care if Drapion comes in because he knows he has switch-ins into Drapion. So he just clicks the Psychic move, forcing the Drapion in.
On the bright side, Drapion is getting some extra recovery from Grassy Terrain and Black
Yeah,
Sludge.
yeah, this Drapion is really healthy again. Now we see Nihilego coming in against a Calm and Clefable. And yeah, you were absolutely right in calling the Meteor Beam Sweeper set. Dealing no damage to Clefable, okay then. What the hell? Power
Uh,
Jam.
I don't think this is a winning setup war over here. At least in terms for like the Nihilego.
Yeah, then I Lego because it has no poison type move. Uh, Usually runs like T-Bolt, Grass Knot. It's not able to hit super effective, and because Clefable gets a turn more of Calm Mind than you get of Meteor Beam by losing the turn for Meteor Beam's charges, it can always heal off the damage and then Calm Mind afterwards, and you will never be able to kill it.
No,
Uh,
he's fishing for a crit at this point.
yes, he has to get the crit. And a Meteor Beam, they're just like going with the highest damage move. Probably not the right call. Probably the right call would have been to Power Gem to get another crit chance. Because you're not going to kill Clefable, especially without the crit now at this point. Toxapex coming in, obviously eating everything. Maybe it was the right play to not even use Meteor Beam in the first turn, but going to Toxapex just to force it out again. Because now you've lost Nihilego for free, basically. Gengar's Shadow Ball
Yeah.
not able to kill Clefable here, but obviously in the second turn would. Tapu Bulu sacrificing itself here. And now Azumarill comes in and probably will just... I thought it would
Oh,
knock off, but
Lele. Okay.
that was to Lele. And if he hits the Psychic move, no, this time he hits the Moonblast. Interesting choice, but a good sack from Adara to keep his team healthy. A Moonblast on the Toxapex, a lot of damage. Light Screen comes out, so now this Toxapex will not die to the Moonblast, can freely recover. Defog from Clefable, but Psychic Terrain removes the priority moves, which also counts for defog if you didn't know.
That burn is pretty big too. It'll let him
Yes.
chip away at Clefty,
But
but
now, since he has no defog, Spike's coming up where me and Lele is in an even stronger position to win the game. Azumarill now comes out, threaten the Aqua Jet kill, and Toxapex coming in, obviously freely. This is the Belly Germ Azumarill set as we saw, because it just hit the berry.
mhm.
And now it becomes a game of how to break Toxapex without going into Lele because it's poisoned, and if you misread and waste turns with it, you will lose because you do not get the damage in you need. Clefable now Calm Minding up against the Toxapex with Haze. Big Balls move. He's
I mean,
fishing for the burn.
in let's see.
We saw the bird coming on. And again, light screen making sure Toxapex is never threatened by a special move right here. Outside of like maybe Psychic from Lele. But we saw it run Psy Shock, and I'm not sure if double Psychic move is that common.
Uh, I haven't seen it recently, but I know that it is a
Okay, so
thing.
we will know how these few turns will play out. So I'm gonna play on
Oh, yeah.
fast because
Please.
this will take some time. Lean back and enjoy the game, boys. Like this is just Clefable versus Toxapex at its finest. So while you watch this, so this is the type of game you enjoy as a poison player?
Uh, most of my enjoyment comes from Future Sight plus Whirlwind Spam. That's where I enjoy the game.
I see. Oh, here comes the Lele comes in. Really risky, but Predictor in the light screen play. Hitting Psyshock, getting the Gengar, which is massive because the Gengar was a huge threat because of its high speed.
Shoot, it was Specs too. It could have been like Specs Sludge Wave, so that I don't know if I quite agree with letting Gengar go.
Yeah, I
But
also, I mean, I think going to Lele on the turn he expected light screen was smart, but risky at the same time. Oh, the anchor on the light
Encore, oh
screen!
my
Oh
god,
my
that's
god.
awesome.
That is disgusting. I hate it. Amoonguss coming in now. The Clefairy gets sacked, and now Lele can just hit Psyshock freely and is not to worry about anything. Obviously, absolutely blasts these poison types, and in the end, it
Yeah,
was as
it
I
was a
as I
very
said,
close game.
yeah. But as I said, like the Lele uh, came in clutch not because just of Lele, but because the spikes dealt so much damage to Drapion that in the end it had no other choice but to sacrifice itself.
That was a very interesting poison team as well. I have personally not seen a whole lot of like light screen tox packs, but it was definitely paying a lot of dividends over here in this matchup, keeping him pretty safe from getting a bunch of like special moves spammed and just wearing down this poison team, especially since it's not running like the triple regen core.
Yeah, the Coco, light screen Coco. Uh, I had thirst for it when he clicked Roost that it's the OU type of, T-Bolt U-turn, Roost type of thing, but so it's not. Light screen, really, really rare move on Coco. Do you not see that often? Same with Anchor and Azumarill. Really, like, you do not see that type of things often. Lagging 10 on Klefki more so. But obviously, didn't get to do much because Trick was not useful against the Drapion. Because, again, Dark type just makes fun of you pressing a priority move and that's it.
Yeah, I wonder how much this game would have changed if we were running Protect instead of whatever fourth move on Drapion, because that would have helped a lot in like the actual prediction game, making things a bit less risky.
Yes, I wonder what the game would have looked like if, like, you kept Nihilego for a point where Clefable cannot freely check it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
This
I
like
understand it, and
I think it was risky play by Desamo Mushamu to go into the Lele so often and just hitting the psychic move. But he
yes,
also knew the opponent does not want to get Drapion chunked to the point where it can no longer switch in. So Madara tried to make the read to on the Moonblast and didn't get it multiple times.
yeah, and we played pretty well in this. As you can see, this game was very close. A few critical decisions when it comes to like move slots probably shifted this match a bit more in Descent's favor.
Yes, and a few in-game plays like sacking a Gengar, like not defogging the spikes earlier, or like sacking the Nihilego and not keeping it for later all came together to, again, also a shout out. Like, I mean, Mishamo really played really well, keeping his techs like Anchor Azumarill, like to the
Oh,
end point of the game, where you were no longer able to play around it much.
absolutely.
Alright, now let's see. The second game is Poison versus Water.
Um, this kind of gives me flashbacks to the last TWPL for my monotype series, where I brought a rainwater team with Slowking and Urshifu versus a poison team. Uh,
Yeah,
it's
this
always
matchup is so fucked for Poison.
it's already over. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, if you don't know what happens, it will be Slowking hitting Future Sight, teleporting out, bringing in Urshifu, and now what's your switch in? If you go, like, Drapion is the only switch in into Future Sight to combine with Slowking Galar, but both of these die to Searching Strike from
I mean,
Urshifu.
I mean, Drapion can take a Searching Strike, and that is it. It can take one. Because of its battle armor ability, it can actually survive a hit. It'll be a little bit easier outside of rain, but I don't remember the calc off the top of my head.
Yeah, but even then, like, even like two close combats or two Searching
Oh
Strikes and stuff like that, it's like it's such a scuffed position. Like you can't play around it. And like Swampert also, do not disrespect Swampert with Earthquake and Flip Turn. With Future Sight, Swampert is a big threat too.
oh yeah. One thing that Madara does still have going for him is the fact that Naya Lego is really good in this matchup, especially if it starts snowballing. The issue is that he's playing against a Sam who is more than aware of that situation.
Yes, and I think Slowking actually takes a hit
It
because
does,
it's
but
so bulky. And Future Sight then means that Nihilego can't just keep hitting.
yeah, Slowking has to risk a crit. That's basically it.
Yeah.
The main game for Madara in this matchup right here is just getting Slowking chipped down to where Nihilego can actually kill it, and then it can spam grass
Alright,
and electric
let's
coverage.
get into the game. But yeah, this matchup is already so scuffed that I feel bad. U-turn on Urshifu, we see the Rocky Harvard on Toxapex. Tapu Fini coming in, could be the trapping set. And we see the switch into Drapion on the switch into Toxapex. Taunt this game. Knockoff removing the Black Sludge is massive because Drapion is really important in these kind of games. And removing the Sugar Berry from Toxapex, not that important because you do not have
There goes the other
that
future
okay.
sight switch.
Yes. Assault Vest remove is also really bad. There comes the on future side. Now Suicune just substitutes up. But Slowking actually has huge special attack if I remember correctly. Oh, that is the Earthquake. He probably should have just kept Sludge Bombing and the future side would have
Oh,
chunked
I think
our.
he was trying to preserve PP because of pressure.
Yeah, but I don't think you're in a position where you can really preserve. And now Sludge Bomb doesn't break up, and that's huge. That makes Suicune really, really tough to deal with. And yeah, future side doing 18%, that's nothing. Let's be real.
Yeah,
Derpixapex coming in, probably wanting to haze. The burn is huge because we saw it has no recovery, passive recovery. Substitute coming in, here's the haze. Suicune obviously really sad about that one, but pressure means Suicune can just stay in on the Toxapex and not care all too much. We see the Carmine coming in. He presses knockoff. He wants Toxapex to stay in against Suicune to haze off the boosts. Because the boosted Suicune is really, really tough to deal with for poison. And here he has to recover probably, but he clicks knockoff. Interesting. Yeah, never mind. Toxapex is way too tanky.
yeah.
uh,
Was he risking crit right there?
no, because crit it's 1.5, not 2x, and he had 31%. It took 16. So he would have taken like 25-ish with a crit.
It's a little. The quality on my end is not horribly high. I could not see percentages.
Yeah, I'm kind of too much. December is that what we stand for? Yeah, I hate Suicune for this exact thing that happens right now.
Can we click on fast?
Yeah, we can click on fast. Oh, he stopped out to Toxapex, but I still clicked on fast.
Man, this is a really shitty matchup.
Now comes Slowking, eating the knockoff like nothing. It's
Whiteboard.
a light screen! Light screen, light clay,
Oh,
Slowking.
okay.
I gotta go back to normal just to talk about this. This is a really interesting tech. This is something you never see. Now both Slowkings hit future side, but for one side this trade-off is much better than for the other.
Oh, he's still
Suicune coming in.
teleport.
I tell you, I would have loved if he just actually hard went into a Shifu instead of Suicune. Or going to the earthquake.
Burn? No. Okay.
Earthquake from Swampert would have been also really, really huge. Knocking off leftovers from Suicune is really big, because now it can't sub-Calm Mind all the time. Which basically makes this Suicune set kind of weak. I will still sub up here and just stall more PP.
Is he rest? Yes, he is.
He's rest. But without passive recovery, you are like forced to rest in positions where you do not have your sub up sometimes. And Madara is really not enjoying this one. Saying dot.
I'll be honest, I won't be enjoying it either.
Slowking hitting future side. Now Swampert comes in. And Drapion comes in. Good read there. Amoonguss coming in, obviously. Now Suicune comes in on the Amoonguss because it wants to eat the future side, most likely. Now Slowking doesn't give a fuck about Amoonguss.
No, it's not.
Will future side probably teleports here, or just even hard swap actually, not to risk a crit kill. Tapu Fini coming in. Amoonguss doesn't deal much damage. We see a knockoff here. Future side obviously doesn't bother Drapion at all whatsoever.
Yeah, but this Drapion is on its last legs.
Yes. See Toxapex just hitting toxic spikes versus the poison team. That's some next level BM. This Slowking will probably just like teleport, yes. And I will go back to Suicune. Just eating the null future side. Scald. If Scald burns here, yeah. No. This Drapion is dead. Because it can no longer even survive a turn of burns. He keeps it around, probably to eat one more future side in case he has to.
Yep.
Neolego coming in, power jamming, not going for the boost. Knowing that Toxapex is a huge threat for the boosting set. Now Tapu Fini comes in. He will probably... I thought he would Meteor Beam there, but it makes sense not to. He should have Meteor Beamed here, though, because now he loses the Power Herb.
Mm-hmm.
And now he has the speed, but not the power to kill the Slowking.
I mean, at this point, it's already kind of a lost cause.
Ooh, the light screen from Slowking, obviously. And now Swampert survives the Grass Knot. Because no boost, behind the screen. Can just force it out with Earthquake. Here it goes to Suicune again. Yeah, the Widow-Wisp, obviously. Wouldn't even matter. Because you're asleep. It's looking in future sight and Suicune is just like, yeah, try me. And the substitute will break with Sludge Bomb plus future sight, but then the Suicune can go into another sub. This one will not be broken immediately. Outside of maybe with a crit. I think at this point Slowking might actually do more damage with Earthquake than with Sludge Bomb.
Probably.
Not anymore.
That was a very short-lived dream.
The crazy part is that the Sam is just like, I'm not gonna click rest. I'm just gonna boost up and see if I care. Here we see the rest now though. Obviously, Toxapex coming in to per se. Slowking will now hit Future Sight once again. And now this is terrible for Madara because even though he's Apumon, there's nothing he can do to stop Future Sight spam from this point onwards.
Mm-hmm.
Or this time just not even hitting Future Sight. Disrespect.
Oh, okay. He thought he had toxic on packs. Okay.
I'm not a fan of Toxic on packs usually lately.
I like it.
Yeah, but I mean, you enjoy like 500 turn games.
Those are the best games.
Suicune can just boost up against literally every single Pokemon on this poison team. It's kind of wild, honestly.
I have not seen
Given
this in a hot minute.
given Suicune is boosting up and you know it's resting, he probably should have gone to Nihilego just to Meteor Beam outright. Forcing in the Slowking into the Meteor Beam, which would be a big threat. Because then he has to set up the light screen. He can't click the Future Sight. Right? Like, that way you force in the only answer.
Well, Drapian's gone for real now.
Yeah, Drapion is dead in this game. Is like, we keep talking about it like Madara has winning chances. But unless Slowking just feigns to a like 500 crits, this game is lost.
Yeah, it's gone.
Because this Slowking will not die.
Hard parry like every single turn.
You say while it's parried 3 turns back to back. But it can just switch out, right? It has regenerator, so it doesn't even care.
It does not care.
That was really close actually to killing. Now Urshifu comes in. Choice Scarf searching strikes. He stayed in because he knew I'm Choice Scarf, I outspeed. But Madara correctly says that it will be. And he just hits Searching Strike on Toxapex, just sacking his Pokemon. Not giving a single fuck.
That's just disrespectful.
That's actually just disrespect. But this way he can bring in Slowking safely. And he hits Light Screen over Future Sight again. This very known for playing the slow grinding game. Now there's the Future Sight, and now where's your switch in? And it's gone. Yeah, this is this is Light Screen Slowking at its peak. Like, it literally comes in with 40% HP and tanks 2 T-boats from a Nihilego. Like, nothing happened. Oh, there's the Meteor Beam. Now, this Toxapex will take a chunk, but can just haze off the special attack boost. Nice to swap out. Probably Nihilego could have predicted the Swampert switch in there and hit Grass Knot. That's at least what I would have done. Now, there's the light screen again. And this way Toxapex also is freely... Oh, and this is huge, because now Nihilego hit Meteor Beam, is forced to stay in with the Swampert, dies, and now there's actually no winning chances. Big read from Mushamuro to Sam. Oh, I wasn't Grass Knot. Oh man, he wasn't Grass Knot.
Oh shit, okay, that makes so much more sense now.
Yes. Why are you not Grass Knot? That's literally... This matchup right here is why you run Grass Knot.
Mm-hmm. Can we play Hypercast at this point?
Yeah, we can. Look at this game. Suicune just not giving a single fuck anymore. Woo. Yeah, here he forfeits because, as I said, like, it looks like there's playing chances because 11% Slowking paralyzed. but he has nothing to break Suicune with, and even then, Slowking, Future Sight spam plus Earthquake from Swampert, he has no switch in. This is just a lost game.
Yeah, it was a very unfortunate mono series for us on the Salamences, but we were able to recover from it. Madara, did best with the tools that he currently had at that time.
I will say, I think the Sam, as long as he tries, will go undefeated in this tour. Because he is, with a huge distance, the best mono player in this tour, and probably currently the best mono player in the game.
Mhm.
So, like, the people that could rival him are not in this tour, outside of like Lithium or well Piper. But I think the Sam has the edge on them. So yeah, this guy will like he clobbered me week 2 too. Like I had not even a chance.
Oh man.
Okay, so now we can look
Oh, okay.
at your game, and I will let you do all the talking. You are free
Okay.
to you were free to give the free reins right here. Just go ahead. I'm gonna
All
click
right.
play, and we will enjoy Aaron's commentary.
I can actually dive a little bit deeper. Okay, so turn one, I have an Empoleon lead. I wanted damage off on T-Tar, just full stop. Uh, Over here, I was like, okay, let me at least get my rocks up. Okay, you can pause the game really quick here because I gotta explain a few things. So I go into my Metagross mostly because I had no idea what this Clefable was going to be clicking. Uh, if it was Calm Mind Clef, then I did not want that thing to set up on my Empoleon. Uh, so I was thought, okay. As you can see, well, I'm not quite sure if you can see it quite yet, but I am Lumberry
Yeah, now we
Metagross,
see it.
so yeah. So I was like, okay, I can probably absorb a T wave with this and then force it out with a explosion if I need to. Um, Now that I'm threatening explosion, I have a very strong feeling that this guy has a Skarmory in the back. So I was like, well, I don't want to give away too much information, so I'll probably just double back into Empoleon. And as you can see, if you click play again,
Yeah, now let's just move it on slow for now, so you can talk a bit more. Yeah, get more time to talk. There's the Skarmory. Really well
yep.
read.
So at this point, I can force a Hydro Pump as he goes back into Clefable, taking a decent chunk of damage. I know he's going to soft boiled here, so I'm going to go into my Lucario and then I'll Swords Dance. At this point,
Now we
I
can
was
go
just
back to
trying.
normal speed.
Oh yeah, he goes
Cool.
into Rotom, which is a Ghost type in this generation, and I am not running Crunch. My Lucario set is Swords Dance, Close Combat, Extreme Speed, and Bullet Punch. And the rest of my team does not want to get a status, so I just went into Empoleon. I was like, let me check the speed stat on this Rotom, do a huge chunk onto it, which is awesome stuff. I lose my Empoleon, but it's kind of like my suicide lead, so I don't necessarily care. I go into my Dragonite, and I
It's
mix.
flamethrower! Oh my god.
He goes into Latias. I just go into Metagross here.
Yeah, I hate the fact that Metaverse has so many resistances this gen still. Gen 5
Oh
too.
yeah. Now I gotta explain myself a little bit here. I have a Choice Scarf Latias in the back, so I can just set up with my Metagross and force out this Jirachi. I don't care if I get paralyzed because I can just go into Latias and then heal up.
Oh,
But I
but
don't.
Body Slam
I
doesn't
dodge it.
paralyze.
Yeah. And Rotom is so weak at this point that Meteor Mash will kill.
And if you get the attack boost, that's a big threat too. And
I
he
got
gets
the
it.
attack. Yeah. He goes into T-Tar. I was like, this could be Shuka, so I'm just going to Meteor Mash, and
Yeah, that's
that's the
game.
game. Yeah. Uh, the last 2 months I had on that team were T-Tar and, as I explained, Latias. So that's how I carried that game.
Very interesting. A Cheetah. Never seen before in Gen 4.
I know. It's such a rare niche mon.
Yeah, like it's basically the Lando T of Gen 4.
I would say that's closer to like Jirachi.
Well, that was a very, very dominating, convincing win on the enemy chosen tier with a good matchup lead. Uh, just like Tita lead is like not that uncommon because everyone knows you run Tita, so you don't give away anything on your team. But the fact that Empoleon counter leads was really good.
Mm-hmm.
That
And
makes Dragon Knight was big.
I like to think I made some pretty good mid game plays, especially to get myself in that position to sweep with Metagross. My overall
Sure.
goal for that end game was to sweep with Lucario, but I didn't even need to do that.
No, that was really good. Let's go over to the last game. It was the Maverick Melmoths versus the Stalwart Stakatakas. And it's went 7-3. All 10 games got played. In OU, we saw Innovamania defeating Abi. And then we saw in Monotype Leafeon taken down Eloise. Eloy. I don't know how to pronounce names.
Elias?
I don't know.
I don't know.
In Ubers, we saw Inda defeating Hoenn Sceptile. In Anything Goes, we saw Swastik defeating Force of Death. And Netex OU, Fortson beating Medea. Then we saw in the 1v1 Heyman defeating Torterra, which Big Daddy of 1v1 lost. Sad life for him. Slam Best of 3, we saw TDR taking down 3 more minutes, which will be the games we watch from TDR's team's point of view. Then we saw Infinite Misery defeating Mihawk. We saw in Monotype my man Styles defeating my other man Piper, 2 really good friends of mine. I love both of them. And then we saw in DPPOU the Sprinkler actually losing, which was a surprise to Ladon. So now we have in 6 chosen tiers, we only have 2 teams that won their chosen two teams that won their chosen tier.
This week is scuffed. I don't know.
Actually scuffed. And let's get right into the UU match from 3 more minutes versus TDR. And we saw TDR winning, but we want to take a look at how he did it. Let's switch sides to get winner point of view in this game. And I want to play with music off. This is with music on. This is terrible. Music off, Ryan.
Yeah, please.
We saw Rapira lead versus Ribombi. Ribombi obviously Sticker Web lead versus Stealthwork lead. Nothing new here. Switching out, expecting probably an Energy Ball. Moonblast dealing 0 damage to Slowbro.
I don't know. Slowbro was pretty bulky.
Did he just skill swap? Okay, interesting start already for me. Man just hit skill swap on a Slowbro to get back health on a Ribombi.
Huh. That's kind of cool.
Actually interesting. Heyman asking which one is my teammate. This is TWPL at its best. Bullet Punch, Thunderous, yeah, well, just to get in the challenge because he knew he cannot do much anymore. Lycanroc coming in. Scumry obviously a free switch in against Lycanroc, but the Stonage obviously still deal a lot of damage. And Body Press just murks. Now Thundy comes in, Nasty Plots. That could be a big threat. We saw Heavy Duty Boots, so we know no damage boosting and a Psychic. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is a Scarf Zarude.
Yep.
And he has Focus Blast, which would have killed the Zarude if not for the Scarf. Psychic killing Thunderous. He probably should have expected that he had to switch. Actually, it's not Choice Scarf, it's Heavy Duty Boots. Yeah. I had the wrong answer to the same situation. Moonblast dealing not much damage to Rapiria, but now we see a Zoomeril coming in. Oh, this Earthquake did so much. This was a Belly Drum set, once again. And Rotom Wash, obviously free check to Zoomeril. Or not. This is offensive Rotom. Defensive Rotom would never take that much.
Let's see.
I wonder, how does TDR win this from this position? Oh, okay, Ribombi just wins. Yeah,
It's
Rugomi
also
just its
like
movements.
a meter beam Necrozma.
Yeah, true. Still interesting because like if this right here, you pause this, YouTubers would be like, "You will not expect what happens next."
With the giant red arrow.
It tanks, it gets the oh
Yeah.
my god, weakness policy,
Oh,
rock polish, and the heat wave absolutely blasts. You will not believe what happens next. Photon Geysir now finishing off the offensive Scarf Road on Washa soon. And this was a really close win for TDR, but he got it done in the end. And now let's hop over to RU immediately. And I see it's interesting to me that in RU, I see Pokemon that are used on regular basis in Monotype, like Poltegeist, Cloyster, Mimikyu. Then you have like the Crobat,
even Frostlass.
even Frostless. Monotype is such a wild type. I tell you. Music off. Switch sides. And let's look at this game. Golisopod to lead, just two spikes, Frostless to taunt, and spike. Nothing unexpected here. Probably should have knocked off turn one just to get this Frostless killed ASAP.
Let's see.
Oh, Dragon Dance Flygon.
I forgot Flygon gets Dragon Dance now.
Yes, and the Stone Edge. Golisopod is so bulky, it's kind of incredible. Roserade coming in, and this was not the one that comes in. Echojet now killing Flygon. I think Roserade should have been kept probably just to have more answers to the opponent's team defensively, but can respect the sack.
Mimikyu gets jumped, but there goes Golisopod.
Now comes Crobat, outspeeds, Braidbird kills. But Poltegeist sets up on Crobat if it's not taunt. Yes, and I have a bad feeling I know how this game is going now.
Yep. Giga Drain?
Shadow Watcher kills. Close. Registeel can actually tank if it's AV. Yeah, okay, this is just like... Registeel is so tanky. It's even leftovers, it's not even AV. Just doesn't care. But Lucario comes in and he can't... He doesn't have Body Press. Does Registeel even get Body Press?
I'm pretty sure it does.
Or it gets Thunder Wave.
I think Lucario can still...
Lucario still outspeeds. This is sad. But E-Speed now kills Crobat. Oh, yeah. And E-Speed probably also kills Raikou.
Well, okay. I'm a little bit biased since I play GSC. Yeah. I remember Raikou being a lot bulkier than it is in later gens.
Yeah, no, I play in NetDex Monotype. I play an offensive steel team with a Sword Dance Lucario, and the E-Speed just did so much damage. It's kind of stupid. So very, very convincing wins from TDR right here in the Slam Best of 3 as the manager. And now as the very, very last game, I randomized once again because managers do not send me the games they want to in this video. Go flame your managers if you want a different game next time. Shoutouts to TDR who did send the game he wanted. And we see how Fortson defeated Medea in the NetDex OU tier. And I mean, I already see like Mega Aerodactyl, Mega Pinsir. I already love this. Two of my favorite Megas of all time.
Oh, I can't stand Mega Pinsir. I like Mega Aerodactyl. Let's see.
Why do you not like Mega Pinsir? Can you elaborate?
Because I like playing bulky things, and Pinsir makes me cry.
That is very reasonable, given like Mega Pinsir literally one-shots like Toxapex after Sword Dance. Alright, let's look at this very last game. But again, just at the end of the video, as a reminder, Aaron and me are just like some random Pokemon players. We are not like pro players. We do not play only Pokemon and all matters. If you think some parts of our analysis were wrong or disagree, then it's fine. We don't really care though, because we are not here to give the most accurate recap. We are here to entertain and talk about the games that we found interesting. Or the managers found interesting. Or my random number generator found interesting because the managers didn't think anything was interesting.
I don't know what you mean. We're experts in every single tier. Like we made top 10 in RBYUU.
I actually was in the top 5 in Balanced Tagmons Gen 7, and I want this as a pickable tier for the next Thunderwings Premier League. I will literally only play that tier. I love Balanced Tagmons Gen 7. It's so wild. Alright, let's look at this NetDex OU game, which is roughly the same meta, honestly. We see Zapdos leading against Staraptor. Really good lead for Zapdos. Double swapping? No, it's final Gambit Staraptor, which...
Yep.
Ooh, smart. Smart. I did not expect that one. So I would have lost Zapdos right there, right then.
Oh yeah, I would have.
Sweeping Steeler. Please be like... Earthquake Celestina. Media Beam meaning no damage. But he stealth rots. There's so much mods, man. He just stealth rooks up. Yeah,
oh my god. The Mad Lad.
He gets Zapdos, and Zapdos doesn't die to anything because Meteor Beam is gone. Yes. And now the... Oh my god, burned from Flamethrower. That's wild too. But the burn now finishes the Steeler. But Steeler did put a big chunk into the team. Staraptor coming in to threaten the final Gambit. It just defogs.
Yep.
Now Starfox coming back up. This Aerodactyl could be pursued, but it isn't. But it could have been.
At least. You might be waiting a little bit later to be... Oh.
Staying in on this Lando was risky. But because it's Scarf, like Stone Edge, if it crits, also just kills. And Aerodactyl can't really switch out because of the... And it crits and kills, yeah. Obviously. But Pinsir, actually he shouldn't... If he is like Moxie, he could have gotten one attack boost 2 for free there. And now Close Combat kills Cloyster, because no heavy duty boots. Victini comes in, Final Gambit. This is a Mono Final Gambit team, by the way, very famous.
Oh yeah, it's like one of the most popular playstyles.
Yes. Z conversion Porygon. To what type? Ghost.
Okay.
And it dies to liquidation. And she just Final Gambit and Staraptor. He's like, fuck this, I'm out.
Man, what a wild game.
Araconid is just a god, what can you say? Liquidation just killing Porygon after setting up like nothing happened. But if this is Scarf Gengar, he had an answer left in his back anyways. He could have just hit Shadow Ball and finish it off after the liquidation, if it doesn't kill, so...
Wait, didn't like Scarf Staraptor with Brave Bird win? If it wasn't like Scarf Gengar.
No, because you click liquidation, you sack your Araconid, you go to Gengar, click Shadow Ball, Porygon Z can't stay in or get sacked, right? But then it sacks, you swap out to Heatran, sack Heatran, get back to Gengar and hit T-Bolt. Because you're faster with Scarf.
Well, I mean, if it was Scarf Staraptor and non-Scarf Gengar.
I think Brave Bird could have probably won that. Maybe. I think because it was like at 62%, not even, like it was at like 50% or something. Let me check. It was at 51%. Like if you Brave Bird, Gengar, and Araconid and Heatran, you probably actually die before get to damage, especially but I'm not sure. I don't play offensive Staraton enough for that one. But it could have maybe won. I don't know.
I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
this was Falsen just absolutely cleaning house. Really, really strong gameplay right here. And that sums up week 1 of the Thundering Wings Premier League Season 2. Really interesting games, really interesting matchups. Only one idiot who doesn't manage to play his game, and he's sitting right here. What is this man doing? This Schwipper guy? Absolutely trash, terrible.
I
Report
know.
him.
It's like a dickhead.
Yes, he's really terrible at every gen he plays. How
Yes,
can
you
he
should
even like...
subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Yes. Actually, you should subscribe to his YouTube channel because you can watch how terrible he is.
Oh,
Just to
true.
learn what to not do.
All
Alright.
right.
But that sums up week 1, and we will be back next week to cover the week 2 matchups. And thank you all for watching, and have a nice day. See ya.
All right. See ya.